Come on, YouTube. Every time, really? We should be going live, just verifying the gate. I'm assuming we're live. Even though YouTube, once again, has failed us and not give me an actual sign that we are live. There we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another Jedi Academy here on Reality Skewed Gamers. I'm your host, Ranger J 1999. That sexual stack of pancakes over there is Sir Loki, the lightsaber builder. Who's not
Good
going
morning.
to... There you go. So, who's not communicating, apparently.
I'm good, man. Good morning.
Reported in for duty, sir.
Yep.
And this is the Jedi Academy. I'm sure there'll be more people along the way, but what it is we have a bunch of awesome content creators come together here on the RC channel, and we're here to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to drink beer and then drink some more beer. No, we're here to do. We're here to answer your questions about Star Wars: Galaxy of Heroes, the mobile game brought to you by Capital Games, and it's real simple. We get a great panel together. You have questions. All you need to do is put those questions into the chat. However, there is a caveat. There is a format. When you put your question in the chat, make sure you put the word question in front of your actual question statement, because that's what we do. What we use as a keyword, because we use Nightbot as a filtering word to get your question. So if you'd like your question answered, do it in that format. Now, if you don't do it in that format, we're not going to get your question. And then Loki's going to get very angry. Then he turns into Godzilla and Mothra combined and comes and burns your house down. No, he will just not.
No, I won't. I'll go back to bed.
Yeah, see? Do you want Loki to go back to bed? So make sure you do it right. So that's how it works. It's a Q&A show, and we'll get some more people here along the way. It's early in the morning, so some people will get here sooner rather than later. So we're just getting things kicked off, get everything going. Now, as a programming note, as soon as we get done here, you know what's going on. It's GAC Fight Day, where you get triple action in GAC. You got me doing my GAC. You got Loki doing his GAC. And of course, we all try and help Grande with his GAC. Some tasks are easier than others. So you got a long line of Star Wars Galaxy Heroes content coming up. Now, the GAC will be done over on our Twitch channel, and you can find that located below in the description. So if you want to check that out, please feel free to. It's a lot of fun. We do all those GACs. You get all the heavyweight fighting going on there. You get Loki at the 8 million plus. You get Grady at the 7.5 million plus. And you get me 6.5 million and above. So yeah, it's pretty wizard. It's so wizard, Loki. And then what else? And then later on tonight on Twitch, 8 p.m. Eastern, we will have Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition on RSG. There you go. I think I've done all the cross promotional stuff. Well, I think I've pimped everything, right? So
Yep.
yeah, I think we're doing. So also, if as you come in, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, smash the like button, and then yeah, I think that's it. Hit the like button, subscribe on Twitch, join our Patreon, send me and Loki cash prizes, new cars, things of that nature. Am I missing anything? I don't know. What do you want, Loki? Just cash prizes, or just is there anything specific? Maple syrup or something?
No, I'm good, man. As long as the skewers are happy, we're good.
No, that's really.
I did get my hyperdrive bundle from Heinze, so shout out to that guy for messaging me.
Not that Loki needs it.
I gave it to a friend of mine.
Which was not me, by the way, folks. I begged, and he said no.
Did you buy the hyperdrive? I thought you bought it already.
It's fine. It's fine, Loki.
See?
Could have used it for the armorer, but you said no, so it's fine. It's fine, Loki. You gave it to one of your friends. Probably one of your friends in your guild that has 9 million GP that didn't need it. So what do I deal with here? No, it's all good. But yeah, you've won that a lot, man. You got like some crazy luck with that shit, dude.
I only run one.
Really?
Wasn't it?
I thought things said you won a couple of those things.
No, I've only run one, and then
Sure.
I need to get my shirt. I don't know who to message about that shirt. Apparently, I want a shirt too.
Oh yeah. And I thought Hanji was sending us shirts anyway.
Yeah, I thought we're getting shirts. So
Yeah, because we did what we did. I'm not
those
gonna.
dudes got blasted last night, man.
Oh,
Like,
I'm
Big Old
sure.
Maurice got
Oh
blasted
yeah,
really
I'm
bad.
sure they did. That's probably why we don't have a panel today because they're all last. I've done it, man. You both have. You do Heinz's stream and you get liquored up, man, and then you have to go do this in the morning. It's not conducive to good morning Q&A sessions, Loki. I'll just put it to you that way.
Even Tits was on the stream last night with Heinze. She was in the chat.
She was in the chat,
and she actually says she might be coming back to SWGOH.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I know she's got her own channel now. Brave New World, man. I'm glad to see that she's doing it. But she's started her own little Twitch channel, so that's always fun to have going on. So
good for her.
Yeah, I'm very, very proud of her. But yeah, when you get blitzed, man, on the Heinz show, I mean, because one, you have to drink because the preloading is strong, Loki, on that show. It really is. Sometimes he listens. Sometimes you just want to cry, Loki.
He tried the solo nest last night, like some geos or something, and it lost. Like, I was just like, oh my god. I don't know. Sometimes he looks at these counters. Like, I mean, there's a lot of good content creators out there, but they put these counters up that just don't work in the division, right?
No.
It's just, they try to get cute with these 1v3, 2v3 teams, and his nest just wasn't up to speed, or that Geo team was really good. So, but yeah, he did his signature preload last night. Everybody was rolling on the stream. And that's what he does. It's great.
That's why I sing the song that I do when I'm covering him in the GHC Center. Yeah, the preload song. So, I actually created a song from Toss a Coin to Your Witcher. That's that song. You heard it. I sent it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Heinze. Heinze's a bad man. He's a very bad man who preloads.
He is.
Yeah, and he's proud of himself. He's proud of his preloading and what it's accomplished for him in his life. So there you go. I don't know, anything else going on in the world of gaming or SWGOH?
Well, they had the epic battle last night of
hey gentlemen.
What is
it? Scribe Gaten, what's going on, Scribe?
Not much. How are we doing, gents? We good?
It's Tom Jones, man. Good morning.
What's new, pussycat?
Yeah.
There you go.
Whoa.
We need that soundbite with Smudge, man. And,
hell yeah.
And the What's New Pussycat. Yeah, that's my favorite.
It's a great song. Big fan of Delilah.
Great guy.
Speaking of Smudge.
Smudge.
Good morning, kitty cat.
Uh-huh.
No, we had the epic battle last night between Urz and Xerath. So
how bad did Xerath stomp his ass?
No, it was close all the way up until ships. It's
really wow. I'm proud of Urz because Xerath's not dicking around.
Neither was Urz apparently. So I mean, it's
really
it was super tight until it got to ships, and we say it all the time, man. It's not a bad idea to relegate your ships, man. Give you that little extra speed, little extra edge, but yeah, it came down to ships, I believe, and that was it. But epic,
very good for
viewer count was through the roof. I think. I mean, you had like 800 plus on Urz's stream, and at one time, and Zera's stream got about half of that, like 300-400 viewers or something like that. Or it was
very good.
It was a good Friday night. Our time. For SWGOH and the fans and the people that enjoy that GAC stuff, man. So it's good stuff. Yeah. It's only going to get better.
Unfortunately, I think that was playing at like 4:30, 5 in the morning for me. So I was like, I'm not staying up for
that. I wish I could have watched it, but I was busy doing other things. So unfortunately, I can't check every fight and every battle and stuff. So I got a lot on my plate. I'm doing all the stuff that we're doing on RSG. On top of that, I'm doing the anime channel, and then of course GAC Center, which you can check me out on Tuesdays with Nev. So I mean, my Tuesdays basically are blocked off for just to give you an example. As soon as I get done with this stream on Tuesdays with RSG, I'm immediately actually start Monday night when we start getting the reports in from all the battles. So I'm setting up my pages of stuff to do, and then getting that prep for Tuesday. So yee. So all right. So we got Scribe, we got Loki. Not a lot going on in the game. Usually the reason we were kind of bullshitting at the moment here is really there's nothing in the game going on. I mean, we have GAC, TWs, TBs. I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, there's no new content, going on right now.
I don't know. This always worries me when it's super quiet like this. They're ready to drop a bomb on us. I think they do it all the time. It's they'll drop. What? I mean, at one time they announced 3-4 tunes at one time. They did it to us with the first season Mando, right? So they announced, Kara, Mando, and Grief all at the same time, and I feel like a trio of characters is coming soon. And then hinting at that conquest mode or something to that effect, in that data leak. But it's way too quiet for them to really not have anything on deck. And I feel like they're just going to puke it all out like next week or something. Maybe February is Sith month again. Maybe it's Mando February. I don't know what it is, man, but it smells really fishy right now. And I feel like something's coming, but what do you think, Scribe?
I'm definitely with you, man. Like, let's be honest. It's around this time last year is when they announced the GLs, the first set of GLs. We're coming up to the end of their financial year as well, isn't it? Isn't this the start time of the end of their financial year, March? Usually fiscal year is like April 1st, but you still have a big month of March to push for profits. And historically speaking, they've usually put something big out at the start of the year. So I'm thinking we're bound to see something big. I don't know if it's going to be more Mando content or if they're going to do something fresh, but there's got to be something coming. They've been kind of on the ball with it recently. So I know that they've only just come back after their Christmas break, haven't they? Because they get a lot of time off over Christmas, don't they?
It's like 6 months in Tahiti or something.
Shoot, not anymore, man. I mean, everybody's working from home, so.
This year was virtual, okay?
Yeah, they have no excuses anymore, man. Everybody's working from home, so keep that content flowing, hopefully. But Scribe, do you think they're done with Mando content?
No, no, I don't think so. I don't know necessarily if they're going to be churning out Mando content exclusively, but I don't think for one second that they're finished completely with Mando. Maybe we're going to still get some sprinkling of Mando content over the year, but there's just so much more that they can add from season 2. So we got like Fennec, we've got the Dark Troopers, we've got the Marshal, we've got potential raid quality content, we've got Bo-Katan. There's loads of content that they could throw out there from Mando, and just because I don't know if you guys saw it, but when I think it was Solar Events got the data leak of Moff Gideon when he was coming to the game, his an identifier in the game is Moff Gideon S1 season 1. So that already to me signals that we'll probably get a season 2 Moff Gideon or a season 3 Moff Gideon or something like that. All speculation, of course, but that's how I would read into it.
I believe so. I've been saying we're going to get that. We're going to get more Mandalorians in the game, obviously. We're going to get Bo-Katan. We're going to get her homies with us. We're going to get Boba Fett. We're going to get Fennec. We're going to get, we're going to get all that in a bag of potato chips. So,
Dad bod Boba.
Hey.
He might have a dad bod, but he's a badass. So.
Yeah, he looked good, man.
He was rocking the dad bod and the gaffy stick.
I dare you to say to Boba Fett, you got a dad bod with that gaffy stick in his hand. See what happens. I bet you don't have the hair in your ass to do it. Maybe you do, but I hope you if you saw what he did to the stormtroopers. You can just kiss your cranium goodbye because that sucker's going to be in 2 pieces. It's such a brutal, one of my favorite scenes. Just so brutal and just nasty. All right, so we got the questions coming in. Keep coming in. Hit that like button, all that stuff. So we'll wait for some more panelists to come in. But yeah, we're kind of in limbo, folks. There's no content at the moment other than what we're doing. How's GAC going for you, Scribe?
Well, first week was fantastic. I like ruffle stomped the competition. Posted really good score. This week I started off and I was against like a massive whale. The guy had been playing probably about a year and a bit, but he had a Relic 8C. Get this, I've got 18 Relic 7s at 4.4 mil. He's got about the same GP as me. He's got 37 R7s, but he has half my Zetas. So I'm like, this guy dropped bombs of cash to try and catch up because he's got like no Zetas, but crap loads of R7 characters. And I completely stalled on his C on defense. I completely stalled. So I won the game because he couldn't beat my fleet or beat my GL. But it was just bad bans. And I haven't done my round 2 attacking. I'll stream that later. How about you?
Well, I'm Loki. I know Loki's 3-1. He lost his first round, but it was just one of those matches that just didn't have the correct kind of matchup he wanted. Just some bad RNG, so we just had fun with that. We were kind of dicking around that round. He's been undefeated since then, and I think Grande's 3-1. I'm 4-0. I think Finn's undefeated. So we'll go into our GACs today. That's the good thing is we'll go right to GAC here.
Sweet.
Right after this. So if you're not doing yours right away, you can hang out and watch a little bit of
hang out.
The big fight GACs with the massive GP and all of the Zetas and Galactic Legends going at it.
I'm now like 13k away from Division 1. I think I'm at like 4.485 k GP. So as soon as I finish leveling up like 2 characters, I'll be in Div 1. Yeah. Which is kind of like, yay, I can be the small fish in a big pond.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're still going to get the same fights that you normally get. You just go into Division 1, so...
Oh, yeah. Like, there's no additional teams I got to set on defense, so it doesn't really... Like, to me, it doesn't change anything.
No. I mean, still going to have to put 2 fleets down and stuff like that. The other thing that I think that we're going to start getting for content, I think this year, I said it, at the start of this, what we thought we were going to start getting this year. Yeah, more Mando content, maybe some Season 7 of the Clone Wars with either Bad Batch or a new Ahsoka or Darth Maul. But I still think we're going to get a buttload of ships this year. I think they're going to start rounding out some of these fleets and stuff.
I hope so.
Because
I hope they bring out some more First Order and some more Resistance.
Yeah, we need them.
Yeah, man.
I mean, we really do. I think they're both of those teams are missing are some kind of tank ship like the other ones have, like Rebel Y-Wings or TIE bombers, things of that nature.
Yeah, make it pilotless if you have to. Like, crack on.
Sure.
Just get some more.
As I said, do the Battlefront 2 design of ships. You can have your regular ships. You can have all the ships in the game you want that are pilotless, but you can have your hero ships, as I like to call them. They do have to have a character. Like if you bring in Red 5, he needs Luke, right? And that's fine. And those are your hero ships that you can use. But you also have your generic, A-wing, B-wing, D-wing, Q-wing, it's elemental P, Q, R, S, T wing.
Alphabet wing.
Yeah. So, all right, let's start getting into some of these questions. They've been coming in. Let me just see if we are rocking and rolling. We are. So it's just the 3 of us. We're just chatting, drinking some coffee, doing some Star Wars Jedi Academy. It's all good. Make sure you keep hitting the smash that like button as you guys come in. So there you go. And share the word about RSG. So share it with your guild. Share it with everybody. Say, hey guys, this guy's do great content about SWGOH. Check it out. It's pretty dope. Pretty pimp. Share with all your family and friends. Like, Mom, I know you don't play SWGOH, but you should follow this YouTube channel. It's great. What's YouTube, Mom? I can't talk to you anymore. All right. Let's see. We'll start with, let me see the first question here. Pull it up. All right. We'll start with we'll start with Scribe. I'm just going in the order the way it is in Zoom because I'm lazy. Ramsey says, question, we'll go to you, Scribe. Do you think we will get the State of the Galaxy next week? What do you think will be in it?
Oof. Okay, so do I think we'll get it? I hope we'll get it. Whether or not we get it or not is a different matter.
No, that's different
As for
story.
what it's going to be, I would think it's going to start outlining what's going to be coming in the coming year.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to get an idea of, are we going to get a new raid that's an actual new raid? Are we going to get any other new content? We're going to hear anything about the new Conquest game mode that was supposedly data mined by the people at SWGOH. I hope so. And what is going to be our new characters? What new marquees are we going to be getting? That's how I think they'll do it, because it's going to be their first announcement, proper announcement in the new year. It's got to be setting a path of what can we expect to come in the next year.
Sure.
So I would expect big things, hopefully.
Hopefully. There might be a small announcement next week. We may not get the State of the Galaxy quite yet, but you would think so, right? Beginning of this quarter. Start getting some information. So it'd be kind of nice. But they are under no obligation to do anything. Although they've been doing a really good job with their communication. They got to keep it up. We said that you started this. We said if you stop doing communication, it's going to come back and bite you in the butt. But they've been doing a pretty good job with communication, so we'll see what happens. All right, we'll go to Loki for the next question. And it's from our good friend Loki, Darsign, 1972. And he says, question, are resigned to GAC staying the same, or I guess he meant we, are we resigned to GAC staying the same either 3v3 or 5v5? Asking as the game mode has become so stale and it seems CG likes to release stuff, and once it works out well, they ignore the game mode.
I don't know. That's a good point. I understand why they do 3v3, and it's really to use these wacky teams or other tunes that are just not, it's crazy that they release a tune that's maybe not as good in 5v5, but it's good in 3v3 for some reason. But it does render a lot of other tunes that rely on a squad of 5 to actually do well. So like troopers aren't that as viable, and Moff Gideon lead, it doesn't work, and there's a lot of teams like that. But to the question, I can totally see them do. I mean, they have 6v6 in the game already, right? It's a PvE mode where you grab a friend and you got double leader abilities and all that. So I agree that 3v3, 5v5 is, it's been around. And yeah, maybe it's a little stale. The only way it gets better is they just release new tunes and new mechanics. But, if they did something else where, ships used to be 5v5, right? And then they went to 3v3. And that thing's permanently been the way it is now. Could they reinstate 5v5 ships? I think they could, as long as, going back to the previous question was, we need more ships. I have a feeling that's why they went to 3v3 ships anyway, is because we don't have enough ships. But changing things up like that, making ships 5v5 again, and making, possibly a 6v6 with double leaders, or, allow you to put 2 GLs on one team. I mean, there's a lot of things they can do. But is it going to throw the balance off in the game? I think the way GAC is right now, the balance is pretty good. It's not totally overpowered in one way. And if they change one aspect of it, that's what they have to be careful with. They could do 6v6, just limit one leader. There's a lot of things that hopefully they can do. And I'm looking forward to it. But I agree with you right now. Yeah, it's a little stale. But that's the name of the game. It's 5v5, right? That's the game. 3v3 was something that they just threw together, I feel like. But they could reinstate the 5v5 ships, and they could go 6v6, one leader. I think that would be pretty fun.
Yeah, or they could start. I don't know. Think outside the box. Nothing comes to my brain at the moment, but there's other things. Try some things out. Not just with like the squad compositions that they throw in there, like use Greedo and Han Solo, and you can get this feat. Like, you're not going to do that? Jesus.
No, the feats are pretty bad. I mean, everybody knows that. But you do have players that want to chase them, and you get points for it, and your ranking goes up based on, you getting a favorable matchup with somebody where you can do this sort of thing. But it doesn't really. I want something that's like skill driven, or you want to push yourself to be a better player, and I think that's all they need to do at GAC. I don't know how they do it. They tried to do it. Remember, they used to have those event buffs, or the
TW,
and
that was a disaster.
It was right. I mean, at some point it was right, and maybe they were trying to test that in TW to make it work in GAC, and that just heavily skews somebody. I mean,
I think they just overtuned it, didn't they? That was the problem. When you had like incredibly powerful mace, the Jawas have like an insta kill ability when they stacked up a certain amount of turns as well in one of the TWs?
Yeah,
it's like it is nice in concept, but they completely over-egged it.
I feel like Galactic Challenges now is their test area. So I mean, all those little buffs and stuff in Galactic Challenges. I think they're testing all that, and then they're going to release all that into either the new game mode or existing game modes, and then try to throw a curveball at everybody. But my issue with the whole thing is it gives an advantage. It's basically a coin toss, right? So like, let's say this week the Jawas get the buff. Okay, so your X amount of players in the game have that advantage, right? If they have their Jawas built up, and it'll create it'll create a wall. If you have a defense that just will not go down without anything else, that's an issue, right? And players are going to get upset about that.
I tell you what I would really like to see for GAC in particular, and you could probably apply this as well to TW, is being able to customize the layout of your defense. So you could be able to cut the segments into different sections. You can define how many teams go in each area, and you can say, I want this section to be ships. I want this section to be, X number of teams. I want this section. And you could say, instead of just having 4 sections, I want to have 9 sections, and there's going to be 2 teams, 2 teams, 2 teams, 2 teams, 2 teams. And I want to dot ships in this middle one and ships in the back down here. And your opponent won't know until he goes to attack. Yeah. So it applies another layer of strategy that you can pick. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
So if you want,
it's like Stratego. I like that.
And they could even use these feats in GAC so that you could unlock different defensive layouts. Yeah. So you say, if you complete a feat doing this, you'll unlock this template to place your squads or your fleets here or whatever. And you could choose how to lay it all out. I think that would freshen GAC up a lot. But I don't think we'll ever see it, which is a big sad.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. So Elliot Worsfold says, what about your cross stitch? That's the real question. Yeah, none of us. Loki.
Hey, Tits has her own channel now. You can go bomb that channel and
McVenom
let
does?
her know. You said Tits has her own channel.
Fury.
Yeah, Fury.
Actually, not McVenom. Yeah, not McVenom.
No, when I mentioned Tits earlier, it's actually McVenom. McVenom wants to come back to play SWGOH.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, sorry about that. Oh. Not Fury.
Well, Fury has her own channel too.
Wait, so McVenom has her own channel?
They both have their own channel.
Oh. Well, yeah, take the cross-stitch question over to that channel.
Yeah, we really got to give her a hard time about it because a lot of people are missing the cross-stitch. So then we get, what we need to do, Loki. I got to talk to see what's going on with that, but we have to start having people donate to the cross-stitch stuff that we have as voice. But guys, stop pressuring me. That's why Grandi will die if McVenom ever sees him again. All right. Let me see here. All right, next question. Go to you, Scribe. Let's see. Well, Nightmare says, question admitted. You guys want Galactic Legend Kenobi to happen, LOL. No, not really. That was not one of the Galactic Legends on my radar. I don't know. Scribe, Galactic Legend Kenobi. We saw that thing this week. I just okay.
The big, clearly just clickbait for everybody to jump. Like, I'm sorry, but that was clearly fake from the get-go, and people just want to say, hey, check this out. It's nuts. Like, come on, guys, that was never going to be real.
No.
The actual concept of it is not out of the realms of possibility. People have been speculating GL Kenobi and GL Fallen Anakin for like a year plus. Since basically the first GLs came out. Do I think it will happen, or do I want it to happen? I don't mind. Personally, I'm cool with it. Like, yeah, crack on. I do think it is quite a likely GL, and we are due to get one by March, I would say. I don't know. It's not that I don't think it's going to happen. I just think normally there is some sort of lead up to that sort of thing. We've had no prequel content, really.
No.
At all. So why would they suddenly go, oh, by the way, here's GL Kenobi.
Right.
And GL Fallen Anakin. I'm thinking more along the lines of it's going to be something to do with Mando. But even Mando, I don't feel like there's GL level tunes there yet.
No.
So I'm like, this is what's got me in a bit of a conundrum. We kind of need the State of the Galaxy to come out and say, hey, look, this is our plans.
Right.
And
that'll give us a better insight of like what could possibly coming down the pipe, right?
Everything's just sort of tied up at the moment. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've finished the sequel trilogy, and there's nothing quite that scale currently out. I know Mando is cool and everything, don't get me wrong, but I don't see the characters there being comparable in power and impact to the likes of the GLs we have already.
Right.
So I just don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Loki, any thoughts on that?
No, I agree with Scribe on. I have no clue what they would do. I mean, if they come out with a Galactic Legend, there has to be a light side and a dark side one, right?
Yes, it has to be
so if they do Kenobi, then is it going to be Fallen Anakin? Is it going to be Lord Vader? Is it going to who is it going to be? Is it going to be
Vader?
Yeah, it's
tags as well, right? Like, because we don't want to double up on tags. GLs normally have one tag for one faction that they power
That's
up.
the issue. Yeah. So I mean, is Kenobi going to be Galactic Republic only, right? Like, and it's hard to say. I mean, somebody was a couple streams ago on our Wednesday night stream. They said, they could do Ahsoka, they could do Thrawn, right? Like, I think that would be kind of neat.
Once we get Ahsoka and Thrawn, Ahsoka TV series that's coming out.
Correct.
That could well be where it goes, but
it's
now it's too early.
It's too early. Correct. Yeah, I have no clue, man. Because you do bring up a good point. We have exactly one Sith Galactic Legend. We have one Jedi Galactic Legend. We got one Resistance and one First Order, and that's it. So they have to be careful with what kind of Galactic Legend they come out with. Could they come out with Leia? I mean, Leia could be the Rebel Galactic Legend because obviously she is.
Well, it could be Leia and Snoke. The one I thought that maybe they'll do next is Leia and Snoke, which I really hope not. General.
Yeah, but Snoke again is First Order, so I mean, I just
see, that's the thing, and she's Resistance too. So then I'm like, I hope they don't do that.
I mean, you can do Darth Vader. You can do a Galactic Legend Darth Vader. You just make him Empire, right? And you do a Leia and make her Rebel, right? And then that's it. Mm-hmm. Remember back in the day, right? When Episode 4, 5, and 6 came out, there was no Sith anyway. Vader was Empire, man. That's it. Until the prequels came out and they defined a Sith, right? But that dude is 100% Empire. Definitely, if there's going to be a new Vader coming into the game, it has to be a Galactic Legend. That's it. You can't bring out a legendary Darth Vader. That doesn't make any sense. Because the dude is above all that,
Well, the other thing is too is they start going outside of canon. There's so many characters in the mythos of Star Wars, canon and non-canon, that they could go with, as new Galactic Legends, right? You can think.
Bring me Kyle Katarn.
Hell yeah, bring me Mara Jade.
That's what I want. I want a Kyle Katarn, man.
Hell yeah. And you get Jan Ors in there as well.
I mean, you could do Malgus and Satil Shan, from the Old Republic.
Oh, yeah.
Those two are definitely Galactic Legends in their own right.
Bastila Shan's granddaughter or something like that, or great-granddaughter?
Yeah.
Yep.
Great-great-great-granddaughter. Literally, I mean, it's like because she's really 300 years
the greatest granddaughter.
Yeah. But I mean, you just go down the line. There's so many characters that they could pick that are in that legend. I mean, Darth Bane. I mean, come on. There's so many good characters. Hell, bring Abel. Hell, you know what they could do? They could bring in Abeloth and the father from the Celestials, or the son and the daughter as a two-pair combo for Galactic Legends. So there's plenty of characters that reach that status. So, all right. Let's see here. Next question to Loki, I believe. Darstar 1972 says, question, thoughts on what's coming to the game next? Legendary Marquee. Also, is the Armorer missing a character or two? What's the best team to run her on right now?
Okay, so that's two questions.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
So we touch base.
Yeah, go get
Scribe and I touch base on Mando stuff. So do we think like Death Watch is coming?
Yes.
Bo-Katan and Axe and Koska and all. Yeah, I think they're coming. How they're going to release them, I have no clue. Maybe they just marquee it. I just feel like, I feel like they're going to announce like 3 characters, just like they did with Mando, Grief, and Kara. They're going to release, but again, the problem with releasing the Death Watch too soon is they haven't released any Dark Side Mando tunes, and the Gideon lead is just. I think Gideon's in a worse spot than actually the Armor right now because, he has a leader that's only good in 5v5, and it breaks up an existing superior Imperial Trooper team already. So They need to give him his army of Dark Troopers. They need to give him the other troopers at the end of season 1 that was with him. When his X-wing got shot down or cut down by Mando, but they need to do that first. So I have a feeling that they're going to release 3 new Dark Side Mando tunes, being those like 3 assorted troopers, whatever you want to call them. Moff Gideon on his leader has a picture with 5 little helmets, and I think that alludes to what troopers are coming because the shapes of those helmets are not in the game yet. So just FYI on that. But I feel like they're going to do that, and then they'll go back to Death Watch and release Bo-Katan, Axe, Koska, and then from there, like what you mentioned, Ranger, they'll do Fennec as probably a bounty hunter scoundrel. Hopefully, we get a new Boba Fett as a bounty hunter scoundrel. Who knows on that one, but. I feel like they're still on the Mando train.
Sure feels like it.
Yeah, and it's going to be a while. I mean, this could go all the way up until April when they start releasing all this stuff. Second part of the question is, where does the Armor fit in? Armor's pretty much plug and play. Our last GAC stream, I tried her with obviously Sith Eternal and Wat Tambor in 3v3. It just makes Sith Eternal viable against... the Armor and Wat Tambor now make Sith Eternal more viable. He can beat any GL now, where he was having issues with SLKR. He can beat any GL now. She's good plug and play right now, but I agree that something's got to be coming because she's a leader, but she's only a Mandalorian, and that's actually her weakness is she's not a scoundrel. And I get it. She's not a scoundrel, nope. But if they threw a scoundrel tag on her, she would be way better than what she is now and have more synergy, especially with Quill. The problem with her right now is you have to take 2 turns with her. And sometimes she doesn't get to that because she'll either get stunned or ability blocked or something.
Increase.
So you can get 2 gas. Correct. Yeah, I mean, some tunes need the third stack. I'm actually putting the 2... I'm putting the 2-stack Beskar armor now on Sith Eternal. I think it's better because that's the one that makes him beefier. Or I'm sorry, that's the one that he gets protection back every turn, which I think is more beneficial if you're gonna go 2v3 or 3v5 or something like that with Sith Eternal. But right now she's a perfect plug and play, fun Wat Tamborish type character. And I hope when they release more Mandalorian characters, then her lead is actually viable. Her lead's actually like Bastila Shan, so it's pretty useful.
I was going to pick that exact point up. She has a lot of parallels to Bastila Shan. I wouldn't say a really strong leadership, a good leadership, for a faction, and that has really uplifted this faction now. Let's face it, new faction. Without her, there would be no leadership. So it's kind of like, okay, great. And she's got a lot of utility. She's great plug and play. Sorry, I can't speak. But what this points at to me is that we're going to get another Mando leader that's going to completely outshine her. Like we had Jedi Knight Revan come out after Bastila Shan. I feel like we're probably going to get someone like Bo-Katan come out whose leadership is going to like piss all over hers. Pardon my French. And that, I think, is what's really going to help out the rest of the Mando faction. It is a little bit disappointing that she doesn't really elevate Beskar Mando right now. She makes him better, sure, but she's not like the linchpin that really elevates the whole team to a level that I feel he should be at. Because right now, if you look at recent legendaries, would I say Beskar Mando is as viable as like JKR or Darth Revan or even Padme? I'd be like, no, not really. He's good, but he's not that good. So I was hoping for a little bit more support in that respect, but I do love her plug and play viability. It's great.
I agree.
Speaking of not able to speak in Legendary, we've got looks like we've got Grid here.
Hey guys,
He's got
Grid.
We got a Sable.
Made it.
we have Sable.
You
Yes,
guys are partying hard last night, brother.
yes, we did. It's been. I mean, we always get drunk and we always have a good time. But that was yeah, we went pretty hard last night.
A lot of
Nice.
goblin penises flying around.
How you guys doing this morning?
We're doing good, man. The better question is how you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
We're doing pretty good.
Very nice.
This is 2 weeks in a row, or
Yeah,
did we
2
miss
weeks in a row.
Yeah, this is 2 weeks in a row after a pretty rough night. I woke up and I was just like, I feel pretty good. Let's go. Let's do it. I don't know. I think every time before I go to bed, I eat something, I throw back some Tylenol, I drink like a gallon of water, and then hope I wake up well in the morning. Just it's like fingers crossed.
You got the routine down to a T.
Yep. I woke up on my. This time though, I didn't do it. Thankfully, Miss Grid was taking care of me. But yeah, I woke up and there's a little bedside table next to me, and there's 2 bottles of water, a little plate with some pizza on it, a bottle of Tylenol. It's just this whole little thing there, and I woke up and I was like, "Oh, great! This is." Oh my god!
Miss Grid's the best. Everybody. She's the best.
She is. Thanks though for having me on, you guys. It's always a pleasure to be here with you guys.
Absolutely, man.
Let's break the mold and get you a question here from Be More Fet for Mr. Grid. Says, when will we get a quality of life update? We need one bad.
Oh boy. So here's actually my tone around CG has been becoming like increasingly more and more optimistic. I'm still cautiously optimistic, but I'm starting to lean a little bit more towards the optimistic side, just that they've been doing things kind of well for a little bit. We're still having some setbacks, but I feel like they're doing a pretty good job moving forward. And I hope that the trend continues moving forward and upward. I would hope for this next State of the Galaxy to announce a whole bunch of those quality of life updates that they haven't really touched on for, I don't know, it feels like it hasn't been like a big deal for, what was the last like major one that we got, honestly?
Mods?
Yeah.
When they did all the mod loadouts and stuff like that. Was that our last QOL? I can't remember.
It's basically it's time. It's time. The sooner the better. And I would love for this next State of the Galaxy to say, here's a whole bunch of quality of life stuff that we're going to be implementing. But ultimately, please. Yeah, I would love for it to be that. But ultimately, it's still CG, and maybe it's going to fall on deaf ears. Who knows? With all this stuff coming around with EA not having like an exclusive title. Mm-hmm. I'm interested what changes are going to be happening in the background. Maybe that's stuff that's not even on their radar right now. Maybe they're like, all right, who's going to be our next handler? Maybe we're going to have kind of a quiet period. I don't know. Be kind of interesting to see what happens though.
All right. Back up top we go to Scribe. Darstein 1972 says, question, if CG releases a new raid, what should they learn that they did well with the Rancor challenge raid, and what do they need to change?
Okay. So we're not asking what will the new raid be. It's more around mechanics, yeah? Okay, so we'll start off with the bad first of all. The stacking stats past certain thresholds needs to die in a fire. Like, get rid of that shit. Like, trying to get that level of organization across guilds, in particular my guild, which is like, we've got people in the US, we've got people in Australia, we've got people in the EU. Trying to get everybody a regular scheduled time to get on and hit it simultaneously with good coordination is an absolute nightmare. That, like, get rid of that stacking stats. Just kaput, okay?
And then one person does it wrong and out the window.
Exactly. Somebody accidentally posts early and you're like, okay, we don't finish. Yep. Thanks, you know. With that in mind, maybe implement something, a check at the end of your run. Do you want to lock in this run? Yes or no? Get rid of the need for airplane mode. You know, that would be great. If you could just say, no, I'd like to rerun. Fantastic. What did they do well? I think they managed to have the difficulty almost right. I think it was good because it's challenging enough to be difficult for higher end guilds and very challenging for those in the sort of the mid and the early game. So I'd like to see that sort of difficulty. In particular, I would like them to see just tweak a little bit more to try and lower the viability of SLKR, because I don't think SLKR should be the be all and end all of every single raid forever. Like, make something a little bit more specific that nerfs him rather than just nerfs all GLs. You know, give a little bit of love to those that have got C in a raid, because, like, come on, man. Like, he's a GL as well. There's a big investment there. Make them feel useful for once. And if it means, like, Ray and SLKR don't do as well and JML doesn't do as well, but C overperforms in the next raid, then so be it. That's great. You know, have a little bit of incentive for other characters. Yeah, that's kind of my take on it, really.
Anybody else want to offer anything on that? Okay.
No, I think he covered it well.
All right. All right. Then we go back to Sir Loki. Nightmare's question for Loki: is there a variation of Supreme Leader Kylo Ren in 3v3 that beats Jedi Knight Luke lead, Jedi Master Luke, and Watt? Help me, Obi-Wan, Sir Loki. You're my only hope.
So you got to take out Watt. That's the problem. I mean, you could try SLKR with Han and Chewie to see if you can take out Watt Tambor. Because I feel like that's the key. Get rid of him, and then if you get Jedi Knight Luke down, it'll proc Jedi Master Luke's taunt, and then you just got to deal with that. But maybe that's what you need. It's tough to say because they're going to do their thing, and Jedi Knight Luke lead is going to nerf your speed and all that. I kind of feel like if he had the gas, what was it, Jedi Knight Revan gas and Han counter, that might be better. Because then at least you can mark Jedi Knight Luke later. And you're not going to be stuck behind the taunt. I just don't know if those three are tanky enough to take out or to withstand Jedi Knight Luke, coming in and doing his specials, and he's hitting hard the entire time. But SLKR is not great against Jedi Master Luke in general in 3v3. It's tough.
Yeah, you kind of hosed there.
Couldn't you just go SLKR, Han, Thrawn? Yeah, so Han shoots first on Watt. There's not going to be a taunt up, so then you can just fracture Watt or kill him, right? Or
Well, no, because it depends on who's got the speed then. That comes down to speed.
Jedi Knight Luke can't take a turn yet. Like, you got to do your thing before he takes a turn, because then it'll modify your speed.
But the problem is you've got...
SLKR lead.
But SLKR should be immune to that.
SLKR
speed
will
manipulation.
You won't get the speed down. So
yeah, that'll work too. Yeah, that sounds like it would work. You just got to kill Watt first. So however you got to kill Watt, kill him before he puts the tech on Jedi Master Luke, and you're good.
Yeah.
Man, if only we had a sandbox mode.
It's called Galactic Challenges.
Yeah.
Galactic Sandbox mode. That's what it's called.
Yeah. Real sandboxy in that mode. All right. We just did Loki. We'll go back to Grid. Grid. Next question from Ziglet's Haint. He says, question, where do you thinking the next Galactic Legends will be, and how much credit do we take into the delete screenshots of Anakin and Kenobi? We kind of covered this already, but I haven't got your take on this. We already said our piece on this, Grid, so you want to add insight. What do you think the next two Galactic Legends will be, and what do you think of the Kenobi stuff there?
And, it kind of, so obviously the whole Kenobi thing has been debunked. That doesn't mean that's not possible, right? Like we had that idea originally. I think that's why people jumped on it so harshly when they saw it. There's still a possibility of some type of like Master Kenobi and fallen. I still feel like although fallen Anakin would be cool, I feel like it's too much of a stretch personally.
Yeah,
it's just we saw him for 3 seconds at the end of that film, and then he was Vader. Like, there's
Lord Vader.
Like if anything, make a Lord Vader, Galactic Legend. I could get behind that. Like our Darth Vader is now pretty dang awesome, so it'd be kind of hard to justify needing another one. But I could see a Master Kenobi and a Lord Vader or Sith Lord Vader, something like that.
Sure. Could
be kind of cool. But that doesn't really go into the theme that they are quickly approaching with the Mandalorians. They are very clearly going towards the Mandalorian content. We got Beskar Mando, we got IG-11, we got Quill, we got all of that cast of characters, unless they are just now done with that, and go a totally different route. I would kind of hope to see the next batch of Galactic Legends be at least somewhat relevant to that, right? Normally they released them. The Galactic Legends were relevant to what was going on at the time. So if they totally change their tune and go off of, something completely different, then maybe a Master Kenobi or Sith Lord Vader. Maybe if they want to get into like keep it with the Mandalorian stuff, maybe something with Bo-Katan, but I don't think she's like Galactic Legend worthy. But
no.
Now that we have Beskar Mando, it's like, well, I mean, you're not going to bring Galactic Legend Mando.
They would do the Mando at the end of season 2 when he's got the Beskar spear and he's got the backpack, because he doesn't have the Rising Phoenix backpack either. Like it feels like they've got room to expand in Mando still, but I don't know. Yeah, like you said, I don't think
maybe
Bo-Katan is like GL worthy, is she? Ahsoka.
Yeah, she's not. And that's kind of the awkward place where we're at content wise. What are they going to bring in? I think it'd be cool to see like a Mandalore. Mandalorian, because Mandalore is whoever rules Mandalore. That's their title. They are the Mandalore. That could be kind of cool to see, and if that's the Mandalorian or whoever it is, that'd be pretty cool to see. But I'm honestly kind of at a loss of what they're going to do, just because they switched gears on content and went towards Mandalorian content. And now we don't have enough to make like a Galactic Legend worthy character, in my personal opinion. So I'm like, what are you guys going to do? Let's see what happens.
They got to revisit Epic Confrontation. I think they got to bring out a new Epic Confrontation, because I think that sort of power level, we can make that work with a Mando character. I feel.
Bo-Katan or something. Absolutely. Could be one of those.
Absolutely.
But Galactic Legend, I mean, who's the only? We got Rey. Let's see here. We got 2 batches of Galactic Legends from the sequel trilogy is the thing. I want to see them from the other trilogies as well. So that's why Master Kenobi and like Sith Lord Vader makes sense. And in the OG one, I don't know, what would you? Amal and Ahsoka, we've talked about that before as well. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I just watched season 7 again with Miss Grid.
It's just so good.
Cried my eyeballs out. Even worse. Oh, so bad.
She was like,
but that'd be cool. But again, you're kind of like, I mean, Galactic Legend Maul, was he that important?
Not really, no.
Yeah. So it's like, what's the next batch of characters that's going to be that important to be a Galactic Legend? And you're kind of like, I don't know.
I said go outside of canon. There's so many characters that deserve the Galactic Legend tag. I listed a whole bunch of EU and other canon characters that they could easily make legendary characters, right? That are in that status. So they've got a whole wealth of material that they can go to to make some more Galactic Legends if they so choose. So,
Yeah.
that the fans will appreciate and or
Oh.
accept as that. Yeah, these are characters that were OP. I mean, that's what you think when you think about Galactic Legends. They're OP, right? These are characters that are like the dominant force in the storyline. The main antagonists and protagonists of the story.
Yeah.
So, all right. Let's go back up to the top. Let's see. We're starting from top here. Let's see.
The ancient Sith Lords would be cool. Kulak Horde,
Yeah.
Naga Sadao,
Yeah.
stuff like that would be pretty
Could do
sick.
that. There's Vitiate. There's there's so much stuff that they can go with. I mean, there's just it's. Let's see here. Let's go to. Well, Ramsey had the same kind of question, so we kind of answered it. So Ramsey, we just hit that hard there, so that kind of answers your question. Be more fet. Let's see here. Scribe. He says, question, what's the best trooper comp for offense, and is there a second team with the remaining ones worth gearing? Well, I can answer the second part, no.
The best trooper team for offense.
Yeah, best trooper team
We're
for
talking
offense.
5v5.
Yeah, 5v5. I mean, you can use them in threes.
They miss too much of the synergy and the additional attacks.
They can't, yeah. You need them. That's one of those teams that get neutered hard, but the 5v5 team is pretty set.
Yeah, I mean, I do know the usual optimal 5v5 team, but because my Imperial Troopers are not geared at all, and I have no experience playing with them, I'd like to defer this question to the panel.
Well, I mean, it was the original one you can kind of mix and match was Veer Stark and Range, Snow and Death Trooper. But now that Piet's on board, you want Piet. I mean, Piet is the game changer. He
absolutely.
makes that team stupid. And I mean stupid. Dumb.
Just as a side note, if I can jump in real quick here.
Yeah.
Last GAC, I managed to tank a GL Ray Ultimate with a 2-star Gear 7 Moff Gideon.
How did you pull that off?
My entire team was still alive, and just because Moff Gideon was passing out that
They had the buff. That's right.
that
That's
debuff, he was 2-star in Gear 7 and tanked the ultimate. I was like,
jeez,
that's absurd. Like, come on.
Well, that's the thing Gideon's really not a part of that. You can use him, but he's better suited I use him with the Sith Triumvirate team, or you can use him with the Sith Eternal Emperor Palpatine, because you put him in there, and once he takes his turn, I mean, it doesn't matter the team, they're basically neutered, right, until he's off the board at that point. But with Piet, Veer Stark, Death Trooper, Range Trooper, that team just blitzes teams. It's really ridiculous. I mean, it comes down to mods, but if your troopers go first, you're going to destroy something because you just pick a target, and once they do, I mean, it's over. They start getting those stacks, and it's basically game over. They are just dynamite. They're actually one of the funner teams to play. I mean, they are just ridiculous. And I didn't really realize until a month ago, where I was doing Darkside TB and Thane, my GEC Whisperers, like we were just doing stuff content. There was really nothing much going on in the game, and he's like, "Hey, use your troopers in phase 3." I'm like, "No, they're only geared 12 and 11. No, I can't do that. I'll get slaughtered." I was wrong. They went through that phase like it was nothing. I mean, nothing. They just dismantled that, and I was just like, "Okay, I get it. Piet, he's a priority, because I only had him gear 11." So yeah, dumb. God, they're dumb. But yeah, like if you're facing for Gideon, if you're facing like Geos, Padme, one of those kind of teams, go in there with your Sith Triumvirate, put Gideon in there, make sure he's super fast. Once he takes his turn, Padme ain't doing a damn thing to you. The Geonosians aren't doing a damn thing to you. They're just going to kill themselves because Trey's in there. I mean, that team is, Sith Triumvirate with, like, say, Sith Trooper and Gideon, not a lot of teams they can't handle because they're just, the team doesn't do any damage to them and eventually just going to annihilate everything. So it's pretty nice. All right, next question to Loki from Tilo Mad. Hey, Tilo Mad 92. You can check him out over on Twitch and stuff. He's got YouTube. Check him out. Check him out.
Check him out.
It says, if we get a fallen Anakin, would he get a Emperor tag since he technically is the first Galactic Empire? I don't know. I don't think he would. I think he would just be Sith. Dark side. I don't think he would.
That's a good point. I mean, so we have to think about
Mighty
when
Empire.
Yeah, when the Empire was actually activated.
It was activated right then because that's right after the speech that Sidious gave, Palpatine when he said
Senate.
the first Galactic Empire, and you're just like, okay, calm down.
Yeah, because then that would
calm down, buddy.
That would exactly satisfy what we were talking about earlier. Was they've done a good job keeping Galactic Legends locked up in one faction. So yeah, I think that would work, and it would complement each other because Kenobi was there and also Anakin. They were in that same scene, so they were fighting and all that good stuff on whatever that planet was. Mustafar or whatever that's, I don't know what it's called, but whatever. It's not. Yeah, that would be good.
Musta close.
Musta cerca.
There you go.
Yeah, that would be like, because our current Vader is Sith and Empire. And yeah, you're totally right. All other Galactic Legends have their roles, attacker, leader, blah blah blah, but then it's just Resistance, just First Order, just Jedi,
Right.
You wouldn't want to
Sith.
separate that again. If you imagine you've got like another Jedi, another Sith, you don't really want to be taking more Jedi and more Sith and splitting up those teams even further, because like Sith is already hard enough to try and get them to fit in different teams under Galactic Legends. That's part of C's problem, I feel. It's like, yeah, there are some great Sith, but do you really want to take Traya from a Traya team and Darth Revan from a Darth Revan team and Malak from Darth Revan? And do you want to, it's kind of like, I don't want to do that. So we need to have different factions for GLs in the future. We need to go like Scoundrel. We need to go Galactic Republic and Empire and Rebel and something, that can start picking from different character pools.
Yeah, I would like that, because everything that we have right now is like SLKR is used with First Order, Rey's mostly used with Jedi. Jedi Master Luke is mostly used with Jedi. Sith Eternal Emperor is a weird sort of Sith combo, but we're pretty restricted to those factions. I would definitely like to see a little bump in some of those other factions out there. I think that'd be cool.
All right. I think the next question goes to you, Grid. I've lost track. From my guild officer and lurker in the chat, meow meow, silk meow.
Meow meow. Oh, meow meow. Can you see Sable?
Meow.
I'm sure she can. She sees all. Great. I don't know if you know this, but she sees everything. Question: do you think Relic 8 will be a requirement for the next Galactic Legends?
Gross.
Yes.
There's
going to be a character or two that's going to need Relic 8.
Yeah. I will say, honestly, while I wholeheartedly don't want it to be,
I don't either.
I believe it will. That's
Ruining
their little
my
caveat.
Saturday.
I feel like that's their little, that's their little caveat of, Relic 7 comes out and all that good stuff and blah, blah. You got Galactic Legends. Somebody in the most important list of that team, needs Relic 7. Not everybody, but there's a reason, your Jedi Knight Luke needs to be Relic 7. You got your JTR needs to be Relic 7 and so on and so forth. Crew. Those characters that are most important to that Galactic Legend end up having to be Relic 7. But I don't think it's necessarily Relic 7 specifically. It's max tier at the time. So now that Relic 8 is the new max, when whoever it is that comes out, let's just for example say it's Master Kenobi, you'll need a General Kenobi Relic 8, most likely. I would hope they don't do that, but I believe they will. Unfortunately. At least like a one or two characters. Hopefully more on the one side.
There's still so many people that just can't even beat Crankor yet. It's just, oh my god.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one kind of like saving grace there of like that would be a hard gate for. I mean that your literal options would be somehow like Houdini your way into a guild that can get you relegate materials.
Yeah.
If your roster isn't up to it personally, Houdini your way in there, or buy packs that can get you relegate materials if they bring them back. Like that's it. So that is true. That would be extremely difficult. But I mean, in the same way that like right now we have what Hoda and Wampa are needed for Jedi Knight Luke and therefore Jedi Master Luke, and there's no real way to buy that. Some packs came out, but it wasn't like a specific like monetized thing. But they still did it. So maybe it's, I don't know. I could see that being a huge contention point, but I think they might do it.
All right, next question. Back up top to Scribe. Sorry, refreshing here. All right, Matthew 1908 says, question, are you aware that the next release will be the 200th character?
Oh.
1, do you think CG does something special? And 2, any wishes from the panel? I don't have any specific wishes, no.
I wasn't aware that the next character was the 200th. That's pretty cool. Nice round number. And to be honest, as for a special character, and if they do something special, maybe, but I still think it's going to be in line with whatever they were going to release anyway. Probably more Mando stuff at this point, maybe.
We are going to get a lot of Mando stuff. There's no doubt in anybody's mind here that the Mando stuff is coming. Like, it's
for me
coming.
Specifically, I got no specific requests.
Bo-Katan would be cool.
On characters.
Yeah, we want Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan would be cool.
I mean, if are they going to do something special for the 200 character? Probably not. Maybe just kind of sneak it into a forum post or something, but I doubt they're going to do anything for it. But if they did, be like, hey, and to celebrate our 200 character, here is Bo-Katan. That'd be kind of cool. A little tip of the hat. But
wink, wink, not nod. Say no more. All right. Loki, next question to you from Zachary. It says, question, how do you counter Supreme Leader Kylo Ren dock a zombie with a Supreme Leader Kylo Ren?
So you use your Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. Scribe mentioned Thrawn. I think Thrawn's the way to go. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think SLKR has to get the kill shot on Daka. Yeah. And then she doesn't revive. So if you can fracture or isolate, or if you can do something with zombie to get around her, so you can get in there and kill Daka real quick, you're in good shape. You could I think you can stun zombie. If you don't want to, if you don't have Thrawn or something, but I think Thrawn makes it easier. I think the team is like SLKR, Hux, and Thrawn. And that should be able to do it. And just remember to get the kill shot with SLKR on their Daka.
Yeah.
And it's a cakewalk.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. Next question to Grid. Ziglets Haints says, question, is there any character with major screen time that isn't in the game that you would want in the game?
Major screen time. I'm sure somebody. Nothing's coming to my mind immediately.
Not Mando,
but
because
I'm
Mando Season 2 just came out, so not any of those characters.
Yeah. I'm fine with avoiding those for the time being because we still got time for them to come out. Let's see here. Significant screen time that doesn't have. Well, 2. 2 actually, yes, are coming to mind. Jabba, and Hondo.
Okay, there's 2.
I don't know why those 2. I feel like those are 2 great characters that they could definitely add in. I'm sure. Let's see here. While personally, I wouldn't like them to be in the game. Going off of somebody who's been on the screen a lot but isn't in the game, Jar Jar. I don't want him, but that is, it's one of those things that's like
that's a pretty big character that isn't in the game. Isn't in the game.
And I'm okay with.
Look, as much
as
we hate him, though, as much as we hate him, like regardless, he is in the films and
Yeah,
does
he
a
is.
ton of stuff.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
unfortunately, I don't want him in the game. Yeah.
I do not want him in the game. But answering the question directly,
What about Watto? Watto would be fun to have in the game.
yeah, that actually
No,
could be
it
kind of.
won't.
You know what? Actually, that he would be kind of
immune
a
to Jedi
fun
mind
character.
tricks.
He would be kind of a fun character as like a random chaos character.
Yeah.
Like that'd be kind of an interesting neutral tag, and almost kind of like a WAP mechanic. But let's say like the character goes into the game, and on every single character's turn, at the start of every single character's turn, before that character takes their turn, Watt rolls a dice. And it's an RNG, and depending on what happens, something happens.
That'd be quite cool.
You could get a debuff, you could get an ability block, you could get a stun, you could get offense up, you could get crit damage up, you could get crit chance up, you could get foresight, just something random, absolutely random happens at the beginning. Could be kind of fun.
Well, the characters always said that they could bring in that I don't know why they're not in yet, since we have the Phoenix. We're all the Inquisitors.
Yeah.
It's true.
The Grand Inquisitor, the other second sister, fifth brother, all those. You can bring him.
Lightsabers.
You can bring him in too. I mean,
I'm watching Rebels for the first time, and I just saw that, and I was like, "What?"
It didn't bother me because I was more enthralled with the other parts of that episode. That worked so damn good. All right.
I was just like, "What is happening?"
All right. Next question. Well, one for me, and I'm Revenator. I'm not going to answer. I'm not going to answer that question. Let's see. We're on Loki. Darstar 1972. For Loki here says, question, pure speculation, with CG having to share Star Wars now, do you think the competition will give more bang for our buck, or will CG just milk the whales Krakens for all they have?
I don't think there's going to be any difference, man, because didn't somebody publish like figures that Galaxy of Heroes is like it's basically the most it's the only game bringing in revenue right now, right? As opposed to any other game. And they've tried, man. I mean, they tried with Force Arena, they tried with other Star Wars games, and it's just, there's something about this game. I mean, that's why we all play it, right? I don't know if it's simple enough to play and there is enough content for us to keep coming back to it, they tried Force Arena. They tried, Konami had that trading card one, and they tried, and I just don't see them. I don't know what they can bring out, because I mean, maybe it's just the mechanics that I love about this game. It's super simple to play, and then the theory crafting and the guilds and all that. They have to come out with not only a new Star Wars game, but it's got to be something that people want, because they've tried different formats and it's not working. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, sorry, go ahead, Ranger.
Well, competition breeds better things, right? But we saw that. Remember when Marvel Strike Force came out, and I think it was the Raid Shadow Legend was coming out about that time too. Mm-hmm. A lot of things changed all of a sudden in Galaxy of Heroes, right? But as Galaxy of Heroes has maintained what it's done, it kind of it reverted back a little bit to what it was previously. So unless and you're assuming that the games that another company will come out with is a mobile game. That's not necessarily going to be the case. That doesn't mean if you've got a game that's a console game, that doesn't necessarily mean that people will stop playing Galaxy Heroes. They'll be like, well, I can play this mobile game whenever I want, and then I can go play hours of whatever this new content of the new game is. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the competition that will come out will be, initially. Now, what could happen, though, is if that other company or other companies start having real success more than Capital Games, and Capital Games will have to step it up, because if you start losing fans to other gaming companies that have the Star Wars tag and they're being more successful, well, it's just the nature of the business world. You're going to put more additional resources and stuff to that than you are to somebody like Capital Games, right? Especially if they start falling behind the 8 ball. So that's just the way competition works. But anybody else with some thoughts on this?
You pretty much covered what I was going to say, so.
Oh, I'm sorry. The
No, no, that's good, man.
that BS of business and marketing came out of me. I knew that 4 years of college would come in handy someday.
There it is on a YouTube video on a Saturday with some hungover friends.
I know, right? None in the workplace. Speaking of hungover friends, we've got Warrior from Warrior Presents here. Well, look who it is.
Hungover. I would say the only thing that I would add to that is they spent what we would say as almost a year doing nothing, or at least that's what we would say. That's why I quit. And a lot of people were like, they just did nothing. And I said the same thing. What they were doing behind the scenes, and I know what they were doing, but it just upset me because they did nothing overt. They were doing it behind the scenes, was they were firmware updating their entire game so they could do stuff for the future, because they had to change and evolve, because Marvel Strike Force had come out and their graphics were better. They had more capability of events. There was other things they were doing. And so competitively, they weren't even competitive with that. And you talk to the developer team and they said, we don't even have the same, like we were spaghetti coated, 5 years ago. There's just no way. And then so what they did was they basically had to go back and kind of rebuild from the ground up how this game is built. And then they did that, and like 18 months later, they've got a better foundation that they can kind of build off of now. And so because of that, now they can start to bring out some better stuff. That's where like Galactic Challenges and the little boxes and things that they can make quick modifications to stuff comes into play. They couldn't do that before. And then they can do more of the animations, such as, with the Galactic Legends, if you notice those, storyboards that they do inside of those didn't exist in this game, a year and a half ago. Those are all recent, and that's all new because of what they've done, because of competition. So competition only breeds competition, and it only pushes the game further. So it can only be good. And I gotta say, there's someone that's going to do mobile, because mobile is weirdly enough, you don't get as much viewership, but the money in mobile is absolutely insane.
If it hits, yeah, it is.
Someone's going to come over here and try to take a piece of this pie.
It makes absolutely sense. I mean, it's because it's the convenience of it, right? You don't need a console. You don't need a PC. You can be at work and take a break and go hit the game real quick. I mean, that's so great.
There's just millions of people like me that don't have time for console gaming, unfortunately, in my life. But I'll pick up this stupid mobile phone game and play it all the time because I love it. You know what I mean?
It's called
I'll do it at work.
Yeah, it's called addiction. We all have it. We do, man.
Not wrong.
Real quick, we'll give you a question here, Warrior, and then Grid, you're on deck there, buddy. Before the Revenator wants to know, what's on Loki's shirt?
It's a shirt I got from TJ.
Is that your roommate?
No, man. It's from the happiest place in TJ, the Adelita bar.
Oh.
The Adelita bar in Tijuana, dude.
There you go.
Ever been to the border and gone over there, brother? That's a fun place.
Well, I've been to Tijuana. I don't
Still
remember.
there.
I don't remember a lot of my trips over the border. I don't remember much, man. I'm sorry. I don't remember where I was or what I was doing, man. I know I went there, but holy God, did I get...
Google it.
Oh, yeah.
Google it.
That's not going to help with my memory of what
another world for me.
Oh, boy. I got another time, another world for a lot of us, there, Warrior.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Ranger, you've been to Oktoberfest in Germany. What was it like? I don't know. I don't remember most of it. So,
Couldn't tell you.
I couldn't tell you. I remember I had a big stein. I went around to a bunch of tents, drank a lot of beer because they were giving it to me for free, and then I remember waking up in my hotel room. All right. All right. Let's see here. Ice House SWGOH for you, Warrior says, what's the best lineup for the Funnelizer, and what should I be using it to beat?
It's a good question. I'm sure the rest of the panel probably has a better answer than me.
All right, so
because,
we'll hold that on thought.
Yeah.
I'll give that to Gray. So let's get you another one then. All right, what else? 23 question then, Warrior. Second opponent in a row auto deployed. What do I do about a Jedi Master Luke, Sith Eternal Emperor, and Rey all on defense in one zone?
Oh my
Oh,
god.
good God, man.
Pray.
So those are
Ignore it and go south.
Yeah, go south.
Ignoring goes off.
those are actually the worst to beat when they do an auto deploy and you get like, hodgepodge, because those first rows have like their strongest, and those are actually the hardest teams to beat. They really are. I've had that a couple of times. So if it has Rey in it, you really want to take your own Sith Eternal, and you want to take Watt in there. But then if it's got, of course, Jedi Master Luke or Jedi Knight Luke.
Jedi Master Luke. He's the Galactic Legend.
So then you'd really want to take in either Gas, or you'd want to take in your own Jedi Knight Luke. I'd probably take in Gas, and you're probably going to take in Link their two of their characters that do the most damage, and then get Sith Eternal, your Sith Eternal, to ultimate as fast as possible, and then just try to get him onto his feet and try and do that 100k basic as fast as possible on them. And I mean, you got to, I'm assuming you've got these characters, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, that's an absolute damn nightmare right there. You're probably not going through that route, but if that's the case, you better hope you've got something on offense like that. Gas, if you've got a Gas and you've got Watt on the same team with C, C can link to reduce damage, and he could get to his ultimate fast. Watt's going to die, but Watt can put he could put the tank tech on C. He can put the offense tech on your Gas, and Gas does some work with an offense tech, especially if he's relic 7 or relic 8. And he's going to be your damage dealer until C gets into ultimate, and then ultimate C with a ramped up Gas does insane work. So I don't know. Good luck with that.
Well, I would say this about auto deploys. It's basically what you have for offense. If you have, say, 2 or 3 Galactic Legends that you saved for offense, you're not going to really have any problems with it, because it's not set up as the teams that you would normally, you're going to face. You'll run through it. But if you put more defense heavy and you only have one, maybe, just ignore the zone, go down south, get your banners, get your win, and then just say, hey, thanks for the free 2,000 points on the victory.
There's no way he's clearing you if he's auto deployed.
Oh, absolutely not. So you already know you've got the victory. Just get the victory and just say thank you.
That's what I do. I find the easiest path of resistance. If that's on the north, I go to the south. And go that route and just find a clearer path. And as far as First Order goes, man, I don't know. The other question, when I left, the First Order didn't exist, and neither did Resistance. And now they're here, and both of them are pretty decent if they're maxed out.
They're phenomenally good, because we'll get into this with Grid. Before we do that, I've been asking everybody how their GAC's going. So, Warrior, how's your GAC going?
I streamed my second one. I streamed my first one, my first battle, and I won by 30 points. It was actually against Shen, who's in Team Instinct. He fought a good fight, and I won by 30 points. So it was just came down to efficiency. I did well, but I mean, he had great teams. And then yesterday, I tripped on. It was a really great team. It was Newt Gunray lead with a Watts Hambor with a Dooku. And I thought, I've got a Relic 8 Gas. I'm going to solo this because I know that my Relic 8 Gas now puts out the most insane damage. And so I'm going to be able to solo this. My Gas didn't even take a turn.
You got stun locked, yeah.
I literally had to get the hell out and literally close the Force app. Force closed the app, and so I had to go back in with a solo SLKR to clean that up because I was not even going to play around. So I had to take SLKR. And that's how bad it was. So that was embarrassing to have to take a solo SLKR in there after losing gas. And so I lost gas and SLKR on that stupid team. But I ended up winning by 20 points. So he ended up tripping as well, the individual I played against. So I've won by 30 points on the first round, 20 points on the second round. So it's just an efficiency battle where I'm at right now.
There you go. All right. Next we'll go to you, Greg. We're gonna get into this finalizer question. Before then, how's your GAC going, buddy? I do the GAC Center co-hosting duties now with Nev, and I was shocked, Grid. Shocked. I defended you and your wonderful beard and hair, but couldn't defend the 0-3.
Oh, bro, those numbers that's so skewed, man. I threw them because DB couldn't win.
Well, actually, it turns out he could.
Turns out he could win one. But yeah, no. So so basically, what happened is DB lost the first one, so then I threw it. My first match, which I would have won, but I purposely lost it. And then the second one, we got to the point where we're just like, you know what? To guarantee the chance of us playing against each other, we're both going to throw the second one. And then it came down to us three, and then I lost on ships.
There you go.
That was
It was
a bummer.
great, by the way. It was such a good match.
It's so fun.
It was
such a good match. Yeah, it was absolutely a fun. And literally, it just came down to me having 7-star malevolence. If I had it, I would have won.
There you go.
I had him outscored by 11 points, and the ships took my banner lead. So
it was hype. It was so hype. It was great.
Yeah, it was a really, really fun match.
Now let's get to this finalizer question, because there was one from Ice House says, what's the best line for finalizer and what should I be using it to beat? I use it for against Rebels. I mean, it's like, hi Falcon, goodbye Falcon.
Yeah, that's its, in my personal opinion, that's going to be its main use for a while. If you have a really set up solid one, like if you're going for SLKR, so you have all of those first order characters maxed out and leveled up and everything, then it doesn't get much better than that. Just have them maxed out, ready to line up. If I remember right, the ideal lineup, you start with obviously cruise ship, the command shuttle, and the special forces.
That is correct, sir.
Pilot. That should be enough for it, but you can bring out the other one in reinforcement, and
you don't even need the other one.
Really like that team is about like this burst damage. You start, blow up Falcon, and then the team shouldn't have any firepower to kill you. No,
because once you do that, it's pretty much over. You go kill Biston and stuff like that. I mean, you can use it against other fleets. It's not as effective, like it's just, but it's just one of those counters to the counter, right? So you see Rebels on defense. That's what finalizers for, right? Especially if you're putting
crazy, because I use my Rebels to kill that team. Whenever I see people put first order on defense, I take the Rebels against it.
Yeah, because the AI doesn't do the correct order, right? And it goes after the wrong ship. So
its AI is so
they always kill Biston really fast, but that's it.
Yeah, that's the problem. They're not. So when you're on offense, and it's mainly an offense ship, but it's we do it in GAC all the time. It's like, oh, they got Rebels down. Unless they got a crazy fast Biston, but normally you still go after the Falcon. You do the main attack, and then you stun it with. Hopefully you stun it with Kylo. Then you do the turn meter switch back over to Kylo. He hits it again, and then by that time you do the call and assist with Kylo with special forces. Falcon's off the board, and then once that happens, the Rebel fleet is basically toast. It's completely neutered at that point. So,
and if we're talking like GAC, if you can find like if they they're going to probably end up taking a few banners from you. If you have a character like Jedi Consular, for example, that has no synergy whatsoever, but it has protection regen, the Akbar fleet will still kind of nick you here and there and take a protection or a banner or two, maybe. You throw in something like that to recover those banners for you, but you honestly should be fine with just a 3-man.
Yeah.
And then you walk away from that with some really, really sweet banners. And that allows you to save, like, for example, if you want to throw your, if you're going to be throwing, I don't know, depending on where you're at with your specific fleets, that allows you to be like, okay, my finalizer can take Rebels, and Rebels are a very common defensive team because a lot of times you have your negotiator and your malevolences and stuff, and you're like, okay, so I can throw Akbar on defense. Well, that opens up the gate for you to put maybe like a Kenobi on defense because you can use your Finalizer to beat the Rebels and then your Malevolence to beat their Kenobi or anything else that they bring out there. So it does open up some possibilities for you.
There you go.
It's an interesting little fleet. It does fail sometimes. It's a pretty foolproof one, but it had like Ranger was saying, it can fail. It is possible.
Yeah.
It does bonkers fast. You know, if somebody's out there relicking their Bistons and stuff, it sometimes can cause issues for you, but it's pretty safe.
Well, I mean, like one time I had it where I think the Falcon, I did everything right, but the Falcon somehow managed to have 1 health. It didn't die, and then I was like, we're in trouble.
Oh, no.
Like, oh, God, no. Oh, God, oh, jeez, oh, God, baby Jesus. All right. All right, reminder, guys, thank you for everybody that's watching us right now. Make sure you smash that like button. Please do. Please hit the like button. All right. We're back up top to the Rock of Gibraltar there.
Mm-hmm.
Archie Vormax says, question. This is for the whole panel, but we'll start with you, Scribe.
Okay.
Would you prefer a bunch of new tunes or just a few new tunes and a couple of reworks and or retouches to make some old tunes somewhat valuable in some areas like PvE or GAC? So do you want more new characters, or would you like them to go back in like they did with Vader and
Sure.
do some reworks, or maybe a combination of both?
I would definitely go with option B here. Like, new characters are great and everything, but reworks can just breathe new life into teams and factions. So I'm always down for reworks. You saw what Vader did, you know, when he had his rework. Throw some love towards some Galactic Republic Jedi, you know, get Mace to actually do something, you know.
Or don't.
Princess Leia is trash. Like, come on. It's like, I would definitely go for just a few additional new characters and reworks, man. Reworks and touch-ups is where it's at. You know, we don't have to wail on everybody every single time.
Or don't. Anybody else? Great. What are your thoughts?
I would agree. I would agree with Scribe there. Option B. Reworks are fun because, especially for characters that are, you know, underutilized or frankly hot garbage like Mace, it would be interesting to see them in a different light and be able to actually do something. But in the same breath, I think it's really interesting if they do it right to add in a new character that changes things quite a bit. The armor hasn't had the biggest influence yet, I don't think, but we've seen it with new characters where they do have that really cool, immediate, awesome influence. Watt was a good example. As weird as it kind of is, I loved, and to this day still love, the introduction of Range Trooper and his kit. It's so simple and it's so easy, and it was a fun, great addition to that team composition that took the Imperial Troopers kind of to a next level sort of thing. But I would personally prefer to, instead of having to farm up another new character, have a character that I already have. You know, get a rework so that, you know, I don't have to farm up the stars on another character, but it's a character that I already have 7-star. Would be nice to get a rework.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think it's fun when you see a character, you know, he pops up in the forum post. You're like, hey, we're retouching this character's kit. This is what they're going to look like now. And you're like, yes, like, thank you. Make this person awesome. Make them do something, you know? And there's a lot of hype over it, and you get all excited seeing it and stuff. So nice little blend of the two. I'm absolutely down for that.
All right. Anybody else?
Fresh blood money is equal to or greater than old money.
That's true.
What I mean by that is, if you go and look at what they're constantly trying to keep this game fresh. They're bringing in new people all the time. And if you notice, if you start to look at some of the people that you're going against, Grand Arena or whatever, and you see like someone you're going against and they're like, for example, you look and they're like 6.2 million GP, and you look and their entire roster is like trash, except for the top 5 rows are all Relic 7. You're like, what the hell? This person's new, and their mods are trash, but they're like, where did this guy come from? I got a guy that's 5.2 million in my arena. It came out of nowhere, and he must have bought the account or something. I don't know. And he like made it super efficient. He's got all 4 of the characters all of a sudden, all the GLs, and he came out of nowhere. And you know, so he spent money, but new blood is going to be way efficient. if they're going to spend. So the new spenders are going to be efficient. Why? Because they know the roadmap now. We didn't.
Yep.
We stumbled, bumbled, and spent a lot along the way, and we are going to be less likely to do this. So when you talk about reworks, the company thinks of it as a non-maker. They're like, everyone has Leia. That's not true, because everyone who's played in the last 2 years has had no reason to work Leia except for a necessity for a specific character such as Luke or whatever. So if they were traveling with that efficiency path, they may have, but other characters that haven't been put in those specific relic paths haven't had a need for relics. So for example, Mace, there's been people that have put Mace to a specific level because of the past, like us, because we're old gamers. But other people maybe haven't because of efficiency, right? Because they're new gamers. So the reworks actually do make them as much money as a new character release, if in fact it's a character that hasn't been put in one of those GL paths, if you will. So as long as they're smart about which characters they're reworking, it will impact not only the old player happiness, but a new player, because a new player will say, oh, shoot, because of economy of motion, I never bothered to even gear that character up because that was a trash character. So all the new character and all the new players will have skipped doing anything with that character. You know what I mean? If you look at most people in the last 2 years, they've done nothing with I Am a Gundai. Nothing. But if you look at a lot of us who've played for 5 years, we all have like a Gear 12 I'm a Gundai or a Gear 11, because it happens over 5 years just incidentally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just gear falls on people over time. So for us, we'd be like, well, hell yeah, if he got reworked, we'd be like, that's great if they added a little this or a little that, so he had more, Galactic Republic synergy or something. That'd be cool for us. We'd be like, yeah, that'd be like but for them, they would have a new reason to spend money immediately. So reworks make money, and if they don't see that, then they'd be, that'd be falling on deaf ears for sure. So they definitely need to take a look at that.
All right. Let's see here. I lost track of where I was asking questions. Too many screens open. Curses. Dialar, how do I quickly get rid of this hangover?
Tylenol, pizza, and a lot of water.
Yeah, he says I got my GAC and it's not going to be pretty in this state. I think the last one's U-grade. Okay, we'll go to Warrior next. I'm trying to keep track of where I am. Warrior Ice House, this question: do you think they'll ever release multiple characters at the same time again, giving the end game players more to farm work towards?
Yeah, you got to remember the last 2 Galactic Legends, they did Galactic Legends in pairs. And the reason why they do Galactic Legends in pairs, or why they do, the capital ships in pairs, is they try to overwhelm our resources, to drain our resources down to below acceptable levels. And so, yeah, for sure, the next set of Galactic Legends will probably come out in between April and June. They'll probably announce it sometime in like February, into February to March, and then they'll probably have it in April or something like that as an announcement. But they like to drag the stuff out quite a bit, so it might not even come out till June. But that's my guess, is like announcements in April, February to April, and then they bring them out in June. But they'll bring them out at the same time, a couple of them, and they'll do that so you have to chase both at the same time, and it'll destroy you, or you'll have to go one way or the other. And if you're, a dolphin, you'll just be even that much further behind the curve and frustrated even more. So yeah, they like to do that. And with other characters, they do bundles. They often do this. So for like Marquee characters, if they do Hondo, they would make him someone that would be a better character, and they would bring like a pirates theme in as a filler for the year of 2021. This is my hope. They were going to do this in 19. Actually, they were going to do it in 18. Said they were pushing it to 19, and then obviously it didn't happen because General Grievous got pushed. And so they've been talking about Hondo now for like 3 freaking years. And so I'm hoping 2021's the year of the pirates. And so if they were going to do the pirates theme, they would be doing Hondo and a couple others. They would probably do Marquee for a couple of subordinate pirates, and then Hondo maybe as a final end Marquee, or maybe him as maybe a different kind of like a galactic chase, something kind of cool like that, since they like to mix up their events. And they would give them all of them in the month of March or something like that, or in the month of June or something like that. I would love to see them come back to a Sith March. That would be really, really cool. I don't think we'll see that, but I'd like to see something like that. But they tend to bundle characters up relatively close within a few months of each other. So it'd be kind of nice to see that again.
All right. All right, back up top to Scribe. Tila Mad says, question, I feel like CG has really dropped the ball when it comes to the Jedi. What prequel Jedi would you like to see come to the game? I want Oppo Rancisis, Ranger Poof, and my favorite Quinlan Voss. I wouldn't mind seeing Quinlan Voss in the game. Him and Asajj were lovers.
Hey,
Lovers.
You feel like they've dropped the ball with Jedi. I'm not sure if I agree on that front.
I think he's talking about the Old Republic Jedi, because you got people like Luminara, and we just mentioned.
Yeah, sure, but I think they're more just a product of their age rather than it was a drop ball. Like that's old characters now. Like they're old characters typically don't stand up to new releases in general. As for new characters from that era, I really don't know. I'll be honest with you. Like the Galactic Republic era is not an era I'm overly familiar with. Those of you that do know me know that my watch history for TV shows in that era is severely lacking. So you'll know that I've never seen Clone Wars.
Bob, you better start
I've
binging.
never watched all of Rebels.
You better start binging, brother.
Yeah,
Don't worry. Yeah, Rebels is poo poo, but
how dare you?
Clone Wars.
Yeah, no, I know. Like my followers and patrons like really give it to me for not catching up on those, but I just never did. So
You got to watch Clone Wars, dude. It's so good.
Clone Wars is really
yeah,
good.
so I hear. It's just. So I don't know. I don't know. You guys will have to fill me in what Galactic Republic Jedi are really.
Well, I
missing.
think Quinlan Voss is one that really. He's one of my favorite characters. I would love to see Quinlan Voss get in the game. Right? He's such an interesting, diverse character. The other two, I'm okay, but I mean, I know who they are, but they don't really give me the tingles like Quinlan does. He was a really interesting character, mainly in the comics. He was in the comics. He was in the Clone Wars, but I mean, he was as predominant a character as he was in the books and the backstory. I mean, he was really epic. The Jedi character that I don't want to spoil anything. I'm just when I say him and Saj had some love time, they had some love time.
Nope. Wait.
All right. Let's see. We'll go to Loki next. The engineer says, question, just unlocked my first Galactic Legend. Huzzah! Does Jedi Master Luke need to be relic to do his tiers for his ultimate, or is he an event unit? No, he's not an event unit, right?
No, you use your gear.
no, he's not an event unit.
You have to be relic.
Easy,
You have to be relic 0, and you'll be fine, man.
Yeah, I think so too.
I tried to lose an ultimate tier.
Yeah.
I tried to lose. Granted, my JML was R7, but it's actually impossible. You can't lose the ultimate tier battles. They're just too easy. Like,
It's not like the previous Galactic Legends. They made these ones a little more friendly.
Yeah.
Hell, I went in by mistake. I went in one time with Sith Emperor Palpatine by himself and forgot to add the other 2 characters and won.
Yeah, like
It was like, oh, you're doing the solo? I am? Uh-oh. And I won.
yeah, they're easy.
Yeah.
They're easy.
All right, let's get to the next question. Hey, Grid, how about this question from Nathan H? It says, how would you touch up Cup and Lobot?
Oh my god.
God, does anybody want to answer this? Grid is over there having a conniption.
I need more than a touch-up, I think.
Oh, boy. Let's delve into this one.
I would not touch Lobot, man. I went against a guy who was in one of the highest end guilds, and he had a Relic 7 Lobot, and he had L3 underneath him, and what other droid? Another droid. I can't remember. It was 3 versus 3. It was Lobot L3 and someone else, I got crushed. I got absolutely crushed. He had the most unique teams. Everything was Relic 7 on defense. And he had a bunch of unique Jedi teams I'd never seen before on 3 versus 3, and a bunch of droid teams I'd never seen, but that was one of them. Lobot as a lead in 3 versus 3 with L3 tank, and I can't remember what the droid was. I want to say it was a double Zeta T3.
Makes sense.
With L3 and T3, but T3's basic was doing like 60, 70K, and I underestimated. And then once I primed it, it was over. But anyway, he's honestly a really great lead. I think the only thing you need to do for Lobot is just increase damage output, because the thing with rework his like health protection pool kind of a little bit, and then damage output a little bit, because those old characters, they gave a little bit of a oomph on the protection kind of thing earlier, not like a year ago or whatever it was, where before I left,
when
they
Relics
kind of
came
said,
out,
hey,
wasn't it?
yeah, they said these characters are kind of antiquated, which was true. But they didn't do a whole lot more. And the thing is like when I came into the game, 6 months, when the game launched, all my friends started playing it, and they bothered me for 5 months to play. And I finally started playing. But, you get a Ray, and she triple mollywop somebody, and, a triple mollywop was for 30 grand. And she was the heaviest hitter in the game. You know what I mean? And that was like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? Because that would kill someone. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, because that was their tank. Their Royal Guard was gone, and now you can hit on a basic for 150,000. You know what I mean? It's like, what? It's a different world now. And so when you got Lobot and he shoots on his basic and it hits for 7,200 on a crit, you're like, okay, he needs to.
And we're cruising.
Yeah, so he needs to have it where he has something to the effect of, if he's with all droids, that it's a guaranteed crit, you know what I mean, or something like, or he can't crit, but he does automatically double damage, and so it's like a non-crit double damage, and then his damage increases, and he's doing like, way more damage or something. So where his basics are doing like 40K a pop, and then he does a double tap or something. So he's like doing 80K, something like that. And that would make him legit viable. And that would be really actually quite fun to have him. And it would be something simple. They could just increase health protection a little bit, put him into relics. He'd be at like 120 to 140K. That'd make him beefier. Have him have some sort of a regeneration on health and protection a little bit. And then, have that 120K basic double tap if he's with droids, which he should be anyway. And then with his basic kit he's got already, with the repairing and stuff, it's sufficient.
Now, nobody said anything about our good friend Coruscant Underworld Police?
Look, I'm not gonna lie either though. Like, Cup doesn't have the worst basis of a kit. Like, his unique is 30% potency, and he gains 20% turn meter whenever he inflicts a debuff, right? And his basic has a 50% chance to stun. Like, that in and of itself is not a bad kit. Like, that's a good start for a kit. If they just put a couple of extra things in there, I could see it being a really, like, he's about control. He's got stuns, he's got debuffs. I mean, his AoE only does offense down, but if you were to increase that, like his AoE had a chance to inflict offense down and, let's say, ability block, like an AoE ability block, and then bump up his basic where, 50% chance to stun the target, 100% if all allies are Galactic Republic, and then maybe something about like all other allies gain half of this turn meter. Like, even something as simple as that is already makes him like, it makes him more of like a team player of potency and control. Are you going to choose him over that much more stuff after that? Maybe not. But like, at least would make it somewhat of an option to have spreading sort of buffs or debuffs like that in a character. But he doesn't have the worst premise. We give him a lot of crap, but again, just like how Warrior's saying, it's the dude hits for, he's throwing, when he throws his little grenade over there, it's a little confetti bomb.
Exactly. All they need to do on him is make his AoE called Arrest, and then make it a lockable debuff called Arrest, and have it be like a little whatever, they want to make it as a little like debuff. And then when he throws it, it literally is a stun that can't be resisted or evaded.
kind of like
except for
fracture.
except for on
Cup
character.
fracture.
It's kind of like a fracture. Yeah, kind of like a fracture on everyone.
Yeah.
An AoE fracture, but it would be Cup's unique debuff. And except for with characters that could avoid it, if there was a specific character like Kylo Ren, SLKR, because SLKR has that capability like can't be stunned. So it wouldn't work on SLKR, but so he'd throw it and it would stun. And it wouldn't be avoidable or resistible. And he would throw it. It would stun the whole damn team, and it would eliminate all their turn meter down to 0, fracture them in essence. And that's his shtick. And you just plug and play him into whatever team. That's it. That's all his deal is. He's just there to basically freeze a damn team. And you'd get him Relic 7, I guarantee it, because you take him in, you'd throw the bomb, you'd freeze their whole team. And if they didn't have an SLKR on the opposing team, all you'd need is him fast. So all they'd have to do is make arrest, call it arrest, make it a non-resistible, non-evadable AoE fracture in essence. Call it arrest, make it a unique debuff, and then give him Moff Gideon's speed. That's it. That's all. That's all his kit needs. It's one rework, a speed rework, and you don't even have to make him health and protection very high. I mean, where it's at with Relic 7 is 100,000 health and protection. That's sufficient. That's it.
The science. All right, next question from Meow Meow for either Warrior or Loki. And she says, what about Crew or General Grievous Relic 8? Ew. Meow Meow, that's a hell of a question for those two gentlemen. Crew or General Grievous, Warrior, Loki, Relic 8.
So does she want us to do it and then tell her or not?
I don't. It's Meow Meow.
I might be on board with General Grievous because of the ship. And I think we talked about this on Wednesday night, I really think the vultures that are summoned by the malevolence scale.
They do. Yeah.
And that could be an issue. Especially if you're relying on some kind of a counter that has to quickly take out summon vulture droids. Which if you don't take them out, you got a problem on your hands. And they probably hit a little bit harder and all that. And then Grievous alone, I mean, he's being used now to counter Jedi Master Luke teams. He's a really good viable offense, as well as a defense still, but more so on offense. So the dude's going to be hitting harder. I think you can get his health. Correct me if I've only seen a couple, but I'm seeing health gains. His health's like 170, 180. At Relic 8, it's almost 200K, which is like Galactic Legends status, which is pretty cool. I saw Relic 8 Xeris with like 180K health. So I'm figuring his health stats are going to be right around there. And as a tune-in for the ship, that might be something worth looking into. I don't know if you had anything else to add, Warrior. But I'm leaning General Grievous. How about you?
Yeah, I would say of those two, I don't think you would notice a difference with Crew. His ship, you're going to get 3,000 health and protection more, which you're not going to notice that difference. And then you're going to get like an extra speed, one extra speed. And so you're going to go, okay, 1 extra speed, 3,000 extra health protection.
Oh, your phone did it.
Oh, it went robot.
Yep.
All right, I'll come back on.
It did it. It finally went. It went poop.
I'll be back.
Yeah,
I agree. Maybe Crew. I mean, Crew is annoying on when you fight him. But I think the big
certain viability in Crankor as well, doesn't he? Crew.
He does now, with that Phase 1 team. But I mean, General Grievous just sounds like a better value. I don't know. I mean,
I go Grievous here.
Yeah.
I mean, Crew's interesting too. We just mentioned you're using Finalizer to beat Rebel fleets. It's only a matter of time when you start seeing Relic Han and Chewie, and the Millennium Falcon hits like a freaking truck in ships. And maybe you need Crew to be Relic 8 to kind of keep up with that. But again, that's if CG continues to release packs where you can buy Relic 8 tunes for $50 a pull or something, people are going to do it. And to get that advantage in ships, we saw that Urz and Zareth fight last night. It all came down to ships. If somebody had to relegate something on the board, on ships defense, they were pretty much going to win because the other person probably couldn't handle it. But anyway, Warrior's back. If you want to add anything else, Warrior.
I'm just going to agree with you on General Grievous. I think General Grievous is the better bet, and this is why General Grievous ship, it's a capital ship plus all summoned ships, not just one singular ship.
There you go. Science.
And he's the lead.
All right. Last question we're going to do for today, because we're going to get ready for some GAC fight time. I'm going to get these guys some time to pimp their stuff. Kuzman says, in Arena, I run Padme with Grandmaster Yoda as my 5th. I got a shiny new relic, Darth Revan, and I'm close to Jedi Revan. I want to take my Bearish Relic 1 so that I can send GMY home to my Revan-led Jedi. In GAC, is this the way? For 5s, yeah. I know there's a lot there. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you're going to find, though, eventually your Jedi are going to change a little bit because as you start moving up, you're going to start using Jedi Knight Luke and Jedi Knight Revan as a team for like a Supreme Leader Kylo Ren counter. And then you can move your Grandmaster Yoda and keep him on your Padme team. He's pretty good there. Or you can just transfer him when you get your Jedi Master Luke team on there because he's a dynamite. Look, I can tell you that. Jedi Master Luke, Grandmaster Yoda, and Kenobi.
You got to have the right counter for that one, yeah.
Yeah, it was ugly.
Especially they're all Relic 8, so
yeah.
it's
yeah, it was brutal. So, but yeah, I mean, it gives you a little bit of flexibility. But yeah, you eventually you'll get those teams set up. So there you go. All right. That's going to wrap it up for this. Now, be ready to get ready for some GAC. We always invite all the guys that are here to hang out with us when we go do our GAC. They're more than welcome to stay here and watch and hang out with us while we do our GAC. That goes to Grid, that goes to Warrior, that goes to Scribe. But what we're going to do now is let them pimp their stuff, and I really encourage you folks to go to their channels, go to their Twitch, go to their YouTube, show them some love. They come here on a Saturday morning to answer your questions. Least you could do is show them a little bit of love. All right, we'll start with Scribe and work our way around. Scribe, where can folks check you out at?
You can all find me on YouTube. I've got a channel here, Scribe Gaming, and I stream on Twitch, do all my GACs live on Twitch. I'll probably be doing it later after you find folk. So yeah, come check me out, guys. Have a good time.
There you go. Grid, where can folks check your drunk, hungover butt up?
I'm on both YouTube and Twitch. I make videos on YouTube, and I stream over on Twitch. I don't do any streaming on YouTube. But I have my normal SWGOH channel, which is just Grid and WWL. I also do have a secondary channel that's for non-SWGOH content, if anyone's interested in that, which is just Grid and Gaming. That's content about other games and more like speculation videos and whatever stuff, just covering general video game content and other stuff. I stream over on Twitch every single day. Sometimes I might take a break to myself, but stream over there every day. Same name, just Gridden. Well, right now it's GRLDAN. So,
yeah, I learned that the hard way. I went to radio the other day, and I'm like, wait, this is not the right Gridden channel.
This is not the right. Yeah,
this was not the way.
That'll be changing as soon as I can make a name change.
Spell your name correctly, sir. God damn it.
I know, but I'm over there every day, you guys. Only Star Wars stuff. So I'm doing SWGOH, SWTOR, Battlefront, just Star Wars games over there. So if you're a big fan of Star Wars, come on over and hang out. We have a drink. We have a cold one. Just hang out and chill. Play some Star Wars games.
There you go. Warrior, where can folks check you out at?
You can check me out on YouTube at Warrior Presents. I've been there for a while. And you can also chat with me daily on Twitter at Warrior Present.
There you go. So please, as I said, not just this channel, guys, if you like the content, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, but check out these other great content creators. They don't have to be here. They could be recovering from hangovers, but they're good. Well, not Warrior. Warrior is a straight shooter. The rest of us are all alkies. But yeah, please check out their content. They're really, and just say thank you more than anything. You find the content you like, but at least check it out. Show them a little bit of love. It does make a difference on any video you watch, or thumbs up you hit, or subscribe or follow that you do. It does help. Every little bit helps. So if you guys could do that for me, I'd be very much appreciated. All right. So with that, we're going to wrap this up. We're going to take a 5-10 minute break, and then we're going to get ready for some GAC fight time. Oh yeah. You not get one, not two, but three top tier end game account fights coming up here with me, Loki, and of course Grande, Babyface, Pappy, Brand Gandalf, Patron. And then sometime after that, I don't know, Finn will probably do his, and then we'll take a little break, and then we'll be back tonight as well on Twitch. And again, this is all on Twitch, and you can find the description for the Twitch channel link below. We'll do some Dungeons and Dragons Wild Mount Campaign 5th Edition. So there you go. So on behalf of myself and everybody here, thank you so much for joining us on the Jedi Academy. Be safe. Last thing I'll say is wash your hands, wash your face, wear your mask, do your social distancing. Please, just do it. I mean, this is really bad out there. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Things are getting better, but right now they're still pretty bad. So just be safe. You know, don't be one of the casualties. Just stay safe. We'll keep you entertained. We got all these great people here that you can check out at any time and watch their content. And we'll keep you entertained. Just stay inside, stay safe, and stay social distance. So with that, have a great rest of your day. And we'll see you in about 5-10 minutes over at GAC. Peace out.